Hey, so I just watched your video and I just wanted to do a video response to your questions and topics that you posed in the video. You had mentioned about, searching Google for information, and I did the same exact thing all the time about everything. Any twitch, any pain, I think I Googled why am I sweating so much? Why does this smell? What is this lump? And so it can be very overwhelming and very reassuring to go on the internet and get quick answers. But like you mentioned, a lot of times if you're searching for one thing, you find another thing, and then all of a sudden you have cancer and you're dying. And that can be very, very scary during pregnancy. Um, the funny thing about that, though, is that I am a doula, so I had already known what to expect from, my labor and my pregnancy, and I still managed to, you know, stay up at 3 o'clock in the morning and searching. So what I try to tell my friends and the families that I work with is that um, searching the internet is not a bad thing if you know where to look. So I tend to try to go to Google Scholar. I go to, Cochrane Review. I do the NCBI website. I also like to do, if you're looking for birth specific information, I like to send people to evidence-based birth. So if you know where to go to find information, then it doesn't have to be a bad thing. And those cool little apps that the pregnancy tracker apps, I found that a lot of them tend to have really good information sometimes. But I think it was a little bit easier for me to decipher what was true and what was bad because, anytime anybody says specifically bed sharing is bad or co-sleeping is bad or you need to look into vaccinations, while you may choose to do those things or not to do those things, um, if you're not providing evidence to support your claim, I feel that, you kind of should just dismiss those, sites. Um, I think it is so awesome that you shared your story with, oh, honey. I think it's so awesome that you shared your story with the pregnant lady that came and stopped you in the store. I don't know exactly why people tend to have a problem with the idea of natural birth. I think it's just because we grew up in a society where, you know, um, we shouldn't feel pain. And, I know that a lot of people are annoyed that their nurse kept asking them for, if they want a pain medication. But if you think about it, a nurse's job is to take pain away. Nobody sits there with a broken leg and wants to feel that. So I guess people just assume that labor pains are the same. Um, I personally had a unmedicated vaginal birth, and it was a choice of mine. And while I would not consider my labor pains excruciating, they were very intense. And so um, I know you briefly mentioned some of the things, that there's certain things that one can do to help with that. And I ended up finding that things that I thought would help me didn't, and things that I never thought I would do did. So I ended up at the very end of my pregnancy, like chanting affirmations to myself, talking about how strong my body was and, that my uterus was strong and hugging my baby. And that's not the type of person I am, and that's not the kind of, things that typically help me. But when my mom's back rubbing wasn't working and, um, you know, my affirmations stepped in. And unfortunately for me, my labor happened so quickly that I didn't have time to contact my doula because I honestly didn't know I was so far along in the labor process. But I really suggest that if for anybody who's trying to have a labor, like whether it's medicated, unmedicated, a C-section, that they look into having a doula as an option. Um, the other thing that you had talked about was breastfeeding. I hope that your breastfeeding relationship is going well still. I know at the time of recording you've been going 16 months, or that your weaning was smooth. I know that breastfeeding is taxing sometimes and overwhelming, and I think it's so awesome that you ended up going 16 months. You know, my little one's only 3 months old, and we're still going strong, and I never thought about quitting, but it's weird to think that in a year from now we're still going to be doing it, hopefully, fingers crossed. So I hope that you appreciate the video response, and that, you know, I really am glad that I came across your video, and I thought it was great. So, yeah, bye.